It was going very difficult until a healthy girl finally emerged, but she had an abnormally bloated belly. The medical team immediately recognized it as a significant deviation from the norm. A multidisciplinary council of doctors examined the girl several times before finally diagnosing her with pregnancy.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at animations on YouTube, specifically the subcategory of animations known as animated stories. These stories claim to be user-submitted, 100% real and authentic. However, with titles such as, "I saw a pregnant baby and that was something," you would not believe that is a real story submitted by a real person. Now, I am unsure of what the viewers of this channel think about the reality of this content, because a large chunk of these videos have the comments disabled, but the ones that do not is just people making quips or nothing to really judge on do they actually believe this is real. So there's not really much point in continuing down this train of thought. So let us just head right in. Stop lollygagging, fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear the story of a pregnant baby.
Hello, my name is Jing, and my story is about how I got to see a newborn baby girl.
Ah yes, the classic animation hand wave. When you don't know how to properly make your characters look not like a statue, just raise their arm and wave.
Girl who was already pregnant with twins when she came along. I started working at a maternity clinic as soon as I graduated from college. This was the job I had always wanted. I'm not even sure why, but every time I delivered a baby and heard its first cry, I felt so emotional I was on the verge of tears. Every baby looked like an adorable little angel.
Adorable little angel, huh? Right. You sure it's not Mr. Potato Head's long-lost child?
Reaching out for its mother's breast with its tiny little lips. The sight always made me smile. Even after I became a mother myself,
You know, these two characters here with their passive animation hand wave look like NPCs in a video game doing some sort of idle animation. Also, that's supposed to be a kid? You sure about that? Looks like an old man that was just shrunk down. Like they go Control-T, just grab the quarter and pull in.
I still felt the same about my job. I love doing it. Of course, not every delivery goes according to the textbooks. Some of the cases I witnessed have pretty much traumatized me. There was one young girl who flat out refused to breastfeed her firstborn. Our entire medical team gathered up to talk some sense into her, but she just turned towards the wall and kept crying and shaking her head no. She ended up surrendering the child.
Really? That's the most traumatizing thing you've experienced as a nurse? Alright, so I am not a medical professional, but I have heard enough from people that are medical professionals to know you see a lot of scarring stuff working in the medical field. A lot. A mother refusing to breastfeed who, if she doesn't want to breastfeed, you can't force a person to do it. Hell, she may not even be able to breastfeed. Some people are incapable of doing it. That's why formulas exist. It wouldn't be something that would be shocking to the nursing staff. They would be prepared for it. They'd have steps for it. But that's not the point. Her saying that a mother not wanting to breastfeed and then giving away her child is the most traumatizing thing that she's seen, I don't buy it. There's no way this story is told by a nurse.
I was actually tempted to adopt the boy myself, but I wasn't married yet. Thankfully, he found new parents.
Alright, 2 points. You don't need to be married to adopt. Single individuals adopt pretty frequently. Well, I don't know the data or the statistics on this matter, so I shouldn't make that claim. But the second point of the matter, she's not going through an agency. There's no way that if she had the true intention to go through with it, she would be able to complete this adoption. Because from what I know, you need to go through an agency to complete the adoption process.
Soon enough anyway. I still remember the day they came in to pick up their new son with the dolly blanket. Lots of flowers for the doctors and nurses, and beaming smiles. As happy as I was for the baby's newfound family, I couldn't shake my anger and frustration at the girl who left her maternity home empty-handed like a failure of a mother. I wonder if she has a justification for what she's done.
Alright, do not guilt trip someone into keeping a child they don't want to keep. If the mother, whatever her reasons were, didn't want the child, it should not be forced upon her. Someone taking care of a child they never wanted is terrible for that child. Like, they're going to grow up in a terrible environment. It's not going to be an ideal future for them. You'd be significantly better off adopting them out to people who want a child, who would care for a child and provide them a good home and environment.
Another labor that left a lasting trace in my memory happened 2 years later. A 35-year-old woman was expecting her first baby. She was very lovely and good-looking. Her husband occupied the hospital hall for hours, anxious for his child to come along. He said he had 2 daughters already, so the birth of his son was long anticipated. He was as excited as he was worried about his wife and child. When he heard his son cry, he burst into happy tears. But the mood in the labor ward was very different. The labor was easy and uneventful, and the mom was feeling great, but the child was born with a physical defect. He had no legs.
If they knew the child was a boy at this point, I'm pretty sure that implies they have done an ultrasound. And correct me if I'm wrong, an ultrasound gives an image of the child through the sound waves. They would have caught the child they were bearing had no legs a long time ago. This isn't something that's just, oh, would you look at that? He got the random no-leg trait as he came out the womb. It just doesn't happen like that.
I didn't even realize what was wrong with him at first until the doctor lifted the baby up so the mother could have a look at him.
Look, Mom, no legs.
That was when we gasped and knew why the boy seemed unnaturally short. He only had short stumps where his legs would be. The woman screamed. I could imagine how she felt. I was the mother of a toddler myself at the time. Then we had to listen to her husband yell at her to make her surrender the child.
Guys out there, I don't think it needs to be stated. Never do this. Ever.
And to her tearful voice repeating, no, no, never. In the end, the man accepted his wife's choice, and the 3 of them left together. What an absolutely astonishing woman.
I don't think a mother not wanting to abandon her child qualifies her for the title astonishing.
She stood by her son even against her own husband. I visited them as a substitute home nurse in the next few years. The woman was an amazing mother to her new son, and his older sisters helped her care for him as he was growing up. Then one day, I got to witness a labor that was truly breaking news. It was going very difficult until a healthy girl finally emerged, but she had an abnormally bloated belly. The medical team immediately recognized it as a significant deviation from the norm. A multidisciplinary council of doctors examined the girl several times before finally diagnosing her with pregnancy.
Alright, this would in fact be newsworthy. However, I did a brief Googling, and I did not find such a news article. There is no way such a true story would happen and leave no news article. Additionally, a baby cannot be pregnant. It is not developed enough to be pregnant.
I nearly fell off my chair. Is that really a thing that happens? Apparently, yes. It's a condition called fetus in fetu, which affects 1 in 500,000 deliveries. We had to add several diagnoses to the newborn's chart, including oncology, as it was technically a tumor. In order to save the baby girl, we had to operate on her.
Alright, that's actually kind of surprising. I did not expect them to properly go with a medical condition. I had done some digging before this video started and had come across the term fetus in fetu. I was not expecting to actually hear it in this video.
When she was just 3 weeks old, 2 fetuses were extracted. One weighed half an ounce and the other even less than that.
Alright, I stand a bit corrected now. I did find the news story because now I know they're actually going with the fetus in fetu parasitic teratoma route instead of the actually pregnant baby route. There was a story out of Hong Kong that I saw, which, judging by the weights that she has listed, is the exact story they're going with. Though this is definitely not a user-submitted story. However, it is a real case, just the story they're telling is entirely false.
That tiny baby had been carrying twins. As I learned, the condition occurs when a fetus absorbs another fetus. In our girl's case, the twins landed between her liver and her kidneys. There isn't really an explanation why it happened to them.
I'm not going to delve into the medical literature because that is a massive rabbit hole that I do not desire to take when it is nearly midnight. However, just doing quick Googling, I did find hypotheses on what can cause fetus in fetu in other cases of parasitic twins. So yes, there is an explanation. Definitive? No. But hypothesized? Yes.
If the gestation went just a little differently, 3 perfectly healthy babies might have been born. As I was looking at the amazing newborn girl, it hit me that she was about to endure surgery that would ensure she would live by killing her own siblings.
Well, clearly this nurse here didn't read any of the medical literature either, because those siblings are not alive. They are tumors, not living beings.
I guess life is stranger than fiction. The girl's mom was extremely worried about the surgery, but we did our best to reassure her. Our most experienced surgeons were assigned to operate on her baby, and they'd make sure she'd be alright.
I think I'm gonna cut her off there. The rest of the video, she just goes on about how fetus in fetu is such an amazing, unexplainable thing in the medical field. Which it's not, but I've already touched on that. And after that, she goes and gives the whole, the mother and daughter live happily ever after without complications, and we still keep in touch. The end. And with that, we have reached the end of today's journey. I feel like it may have been prudent of me to have actually watched this video before recording. However, I did not, so I'm stuck with a not as interesting video as I thought it would be. But it is what it is. As we saw today, the video is a completely fictitious telling of a medical case presented as if it was a real story. Now, if they were to have presented instead of as a real story, perhaps a interesting way of presenting medical cases to the audience, that could be interesting. If, the animation quality wasn't Mr. Potato Head level and the writing wasn't bad and honestly not well researched. I could do better research with a minute in Google. Like, come on. But these stereotypical animated story channels are content farms, so why would they research anything? Alright, I think that's about all I have for today. If you happen to have anything that you would be interested in seeing me look at, just drop a comment. I may end up making a video on it. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike the video, leave a dislike. On your way out, take a look at that funny little subscribe button and feel the urge to press it and indulge in that urge. I release new videos every Monday and Friday. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's not, have a wonderful day. Bye.